Welcome to the Women 2.0 in Conversation podcast. I'm Jasmine Hupp. Today we're talking with Erica Douglas, who sold her $1 million business in 2007.
So I started a web hosting company when I was 20 years old, and I sold it when I was 26. And when I was 20, when I started this company, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no marketing or experience, no sales experience, no contacts or anything like that. But I managed to grow the company to $1 million business in 6 years.
What's a mistake that you made early in your career that you wouldn't want other people to repeat?
I would really emphasize to young entrepreneurs in particular to make sure you have someone to handle the nuts and bolts of your financial side of your business. I'm a very creative person. I'm an entrepreneur. I love to invent and bounce ideas off of people, but I'm terrible with numbers, frankly. And my business almost went bankrupt actually a few months before I sold it. I managed to rescue the business and grow it all the way back to $1 million. But it was way more challenging trying to do everything myself than it would have been had I just hired an accountant and a financial person to begin with. So figure out where your strengths are and then make sure you hire or find the right people who have other strengths like finance and have them help you out with your business.
How did you fund starting your business?
I took the $15,000 from my dad and I looked for investors, but I actually couldn't find any. No investor wanted to invest in just another web hosting company. So after being unsuccessful in finding investors, I did take a SBA loan, a Small Business Administration loan from the government for $35,000, and it was actually a credit line that I could draw on as needed for the company. And I also took some additional loans from the bank in $10,000 increments. I had to personally guarantee all those loans, so I don't necessarily recommend that, but it really did help grow my business.
Who are your mentors?
The people who really inspired me as a child were my parents. My dad is an entrepreneur himself. He owns his own business, and also both of my uncles are entrepreneurs. And it really helped to grow up in a family full of entrepreneurs. My dad always told me when I was young that there is a huge glass ceiling for women out there, and that the only way I could ever make it was to be an entrepreneur. Now, I don't necessarily buy that, but I believed it enough to make sure that I started my own business at a young age. And I became really successful because my parents gave me a lot of books about entrepreneurship, personal finance, and investing as a kid.
What did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
When I was young, I thought I was going to be a writer or an editor. I actually had a real passion for spelling and for editing and for grammar, punctuation, things like that. I was a real nut about it. So I actually really thought I was going to be an editor. I took several journalism classes and I got some information on the starting salary of most journalists, which was $35,000. And I decided that wasn't probably going to be a good career path for me.
What's your advice for women getting started in technology?
A lot of people ask me, do you have a lot of education? Did you go to school to learn technology? And the answer is no, I didn't. I learned it all on my own. I don't think it's incredibly difficult to learn on your own, but a lot of people get really overwhelmed. They try to do everything at once. They think they have to learn HTML, JavaScript, PHP, Java, all this stuff all at once in order just to build a simple website. And I would, recommend if you are trying to learn technology that you focus on one small area of the technology that you feel you can be very capable in. Maybe it's software repairs or hardware repairs or one programming language. Get really strong and really fluent in that and then move on to other areas of expertise. I actually was a PHP programmer full-time for several years, and I did contract work on PHP programming as well. PHP programming is a difficult market because there are a lot of people out there who want to charge very little for PHP programming. So when I realized that my hourly rate was only going to go down, I decided to start a hosting company because a web hosting company gives you monthly recurring revenue. If you do web hosting right, your revenue should go up every single month.
Where can we read more about your advice for entrepreneurs?
I'd love for you to check out my blog at erica.biz. If you go to erica.biz, erica.biz, you can see all the articles I write. I write a lot of articles on building a successful business without a lot of money and without a lot of capital. So I would strongly encourage everybody to check that out. It's all free and available for you to peruse.
So now that you've sold your business, what are you working on now?
My new company is called Inspiring Innovators, and it actually launches quite soon. It may have already launched by the time you watch this. And Inspiring Innovators is a new website. It's at inspiringinnovators.com, and it's a simple monthly membership website. It's designed for people who are not entirely technology savvy and who have a website that's not gaining them customers.
Thanks for listening to our In Conversation podcast series. For more episodes, please visit women2.org.